Hi, and welcome to Resin Chem Tech. This is the third in a series of quick tip videos for starting your own smart home or home automation platform. In the previous two videos, we covered setting goals and selecting a smart home platform. In this video, we're going to talk about establishing some rules for adding new devices and new automations to your system. These are my own rules. At some point, you're probably going to start adding other devices and start building automations for your smart home. If you're sharing your household with other family members or often have visitors or guests, you want to ensure that your smart home platform is establishing the goals that you originally set. For my situation and my personal goals, I've established 5 golden rules that I always follow when I'm considering adding a device or an automation. Again, your rules, your goals, your devices may be different. Feel free to adopt, omit, modify, or add to my own personal rules. Rule number 1, never remove existing functionality. Please do not do what is shown in this photo. I've seen this done repeatedly. Usually this is in a case where someone wants to add a smart plug to a lamp or a set of LED strips that are controlled by a wall switch. The problem here is if someone flips the switch off, it powers down your smart device and the smart device will no longer respond. Conversely, if the smart device is turned off, flipping the switch will have no effect. So the easy answer is to simply tape off the switch or remove the switch from the equation. What you've really done is you removed the simple functionality of a wall switch and replaced it with something that might be more complex or more difficult for others to use. I will admit, I've done this in the past. It did not go over well. So if you find yourself in a situation where you want to add, say, smarts to a dumb device and there's a wall switch or other simple control involved, do a little research, do a little thinking. Are there alternatives here? In the case of a lamp and a light switch, you can just as easily add a smart relay behind the switch that will add the functionality of smart control, but allow the switch to function normally. Regardless of the project, I always assure that anything that I'm putting in the home will enhance or add to existing functionality and not remove simple functionality and replace it with something more complex. My personal golden rule number 2, always assure every device has at least 2, preferably more, methods of control. If it is a smart device, we'll assume it's controllable through your home automation system. However, what if someone doesn't have access to the home automation system? What if they don't have their phone on them? What if there's not a touchscreen nearby? How else are they able to control these devices? It might be by voice through Google Home or Amazon Echo. Or maybe through a simple muggle button, a button or switch located near the device that makes it very intuitive for someone to control this device without any knowledge of your home automation system or the magic that runs behind it. I call these controls muggle buttons. For example, my under cabinet LED lighting has a small button that makes it easy for anyone to turn these lights off and on. My golden rule number 3, devices should be easy to replace or to restore to original equipment. Now, this is a personal goal for me, but probably sometime in the next 5 years or so, we'll be putting our home up on the market to sell. Now, all these devices are great because they're local on my Wi-Fi network. But what happens when I pull my Wi-Fi network out of here and the next people move in? Most of these devices are not going to function, or they're going to take a lot of work to get them to work on someone else's Wi-Fi. So I don't install anything that can't be backed out and easily replaced with the original equipment. I keep a box and copious notes, especially for things like 3-way and 4-way switches, of all the original equipment so that I can restore them when time comes to sell our home. I also don't add anything that requires major construction. For example, my LED stair lighting is surface mounted. I've seen lots of other people that do wonderful things with LED stair lighting where they route out the stair stringers and recess. But at some point that has to come back out for me. So I don't do anything that's going to require major construction to repair or replace. Rule number 4, devices should have local control. Again, this is a personal decision, but I want all of my devices, whenever possible, to be controlled locally without reliance on an internet connection or a vendor's cloud service. Now, I will admit I don't always follow this rule 100% of the time. There are some devices that I still have in my home that require internet connectivity. My Ring doorbell is one example. But these are the devices that are high on my list to look at replacing And whenever possible, if there is a cloud option, I also look for devices that have a local control option as well. This also aligns with one of my original goals: everything local with none of my data or activities leaving my house. And golden rule number 5 is a high wife or family acceptance factor. This rule cannot be understated. Other family members need to be accepting of the technology and automations that you're adding. Otherwise, you're going to face resentment and pushback on future projects. So one of the things I did up front was I looked and even asked my wife to participate and say, what kind of things would you like to have? High up on her list were notifications via Google when the washer completed its cycle.
The washer has completed its cycle.
From there, we branched out, added the dryer.
Your clothes are dry. Whoop, whoop.
We also added a parking assistant because due to the limited depth in the garage, it could be difficult for her to get her car in the exact right position to be able to close the door. So by tackling a few early projects that involved the wife and things that she found convenient, it helps getting much bigger acceptance for projects that I want to do. However, I still run any ideas or big projects by her before beginning, and she can help me think through any potential problems or issues with doing those projects. So that's going to wrap it up for this video. I encourage you to come up with your own rules that you want to observe whenever you're looking at adding new devices or new automations to your home. As always, feel free to click the subscribe button and the notification icon if you want to be informed when I'm releasing additional videos. So as always, thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.